You're welcome to the campaign show once again. I'm Stuart Dance, and I have here with me Solomon Owusu. It's a pleasure to meet you.
And good evening to your cherished viewers and listeners.
Absolutely. First of all, let's start off with what has been happening in your campaign. What do you make of Alan's reception so far since he declared his intention to run as president of the country?
First of all, Mr. Alan Kyerematen extends his greetings to you and your cherished listeners. Let me say that in 18 days' time, Mr. Alan Kyerematen will be declared as the president-elect of this country because of what he has done on the grounds,
What has he done?
the campaign and the messaging.
What message is he telling the Ghanaian people?
I mean, the question that is on the lips of many, how to get jobs, is what he has professed solutions to, and which has been received amply by those on the grounds, particularly the youth, who forms more than 70% of those that are going to vote come December. So we are very much happy with what he's doing, and we know that come December 7th, the Ghanaian would entrust the destiny of this country into his hands.
Okay, we will come back to your party, but let's talk about what happened yesterday with your candidate, who clearly expressed his displeasure with Kufuor's endorsement of Dr. Baumia. What was he expecting? I mean, Kufuor is still a member of the NPP, isn't he?
You know, you have to put it in the right perspective.
Okay.
I mean, Sunday's engagement, media engagement by President Kufuor, was the third time he was endorsing Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. You would agree with
Was
me.
he wrong to have done that?
We don't have any problem. I don't
Okay.
think Alan has said anywhere that he has a problem with former President Kufuor endorsing Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. What the problem was that President Kufuor had created the impression in the minds of many that Sunday's engagement was addressing the nation, by which our understanding was that he was going to discuss matters of national importance, tackling issues like galamsey, tackling issues like unemployment and so on and so forth, only to, as it were, make the subject matter of the discussion narrowed to choosing a particular candidate amongst the 13. So when you decide
Among the 12.
amongst the, there are 13 amongst the 12, you're right. So when you do that, then it is important that my candidate comes out to diffuse or expose the lapses in your conclusion. And that is what precisely he did. If you are saying that Dr. Baumia is more competent than the 12 that are contesting, on what basis are you saying that? That was what my candidate did. And for me, it's legitimate.
Okay.
Because
But you would agree with me that Kufuor was only answering questions from journalists. Like you said.
he was answering questions prepared. This was a pre-arranged something. Remember,
You have evidence that it was a pre-arranged.
it abounds. Mind you,
The evidence abounds.
it abounds, and I'm into politics. I'm doing campaign. Mind you, a week before the Sunday's declaration, he had granted interview to Asempa FM, where he made similar pronouncements that did not work out. So the MPP needed to regroup, reorganize, and then bring journalists from Kumasi to, as it were, interview him. Mind you, the national language of this country is not Akan or Tree. You get my point? But on that occasion, he decided to speak what Tree, trying to appeal to the conscience of voters in the Ashanti region and all the Akan areas who are now following Alan in their millions. And so the whole essence of what he did was to sway voting pattern towards the New Patriotic Party, which has backfired enormously. So we are very happy that he decided to go on that tangent and making our campaign very easy for us. Because
Kufuor has made your campaign easy for
so
you.
easy. We are very grateful to him. He has actually broadened or brought to fore why there is a need for Alan Kyerematen to lead this country.
Okay, but people have also opined that Alan was clearly pained by that endorsement.
No, you see, he's a human being. And if you know the history...
So he was pained.
I wouldn't say he was pained. He was only expressing the truth. If what President Kufuor said was the truth, nobody will have an issue with it. Do you believe for a moment that if you put Mr. Alan Kyerematen here and put Dr. Mahmoud Baumia here, you can compare the competence level of Dr. Mahmoud Baumia to Mr. Alan Kyerematen? The answer is an emphatic no. He comes nowhere close or near to Mr. Alan Kyerematen. So if an elderly person who has worked with Alan Kyerematen but not worked directly with Baumia is now saying that Mahmoud Baumia is more competent than Alan, then it's questionable. It's a very serious statement that needs a very serious rebuttal. And that was what my candidate precisely did. So there is nothing wrong with that.
So you don't think the comments he passed that Kufuor was creating a big blot in his political career was harsh?
No, Kufuor lost the opportunity of being the father of the nation last Sunday when he decided to go that tangent. Because now people
is that a fair comment to make?
No, more than fair. Now he has reduced himself. Mind you, we are fully aware that when you look at the campaign structure of the New Patriotic Party, he is supposed to be an advisor to the candidate. We are aware of that. So in one breath, you want to satisfy the MPP. In another breath, you want us to see you as a statesman. Sunday's engagement, I view it as a party activity. And if you narrow or reduce yourself to a partisan politics, then we would analyze you in that vein. So clearly, he lost the opportunity of being the father of the state because we have only two surviving former heads of state. Fortunately for you, one of the other person is a partaker in the upcoming election, so you cannot consider him in that true sense of a statement.
Right.
You have that opportunity. And he knows very well that this is an election that is full of tensions. So there will be a time that we can even call on him to mediate in some of the issues that will come up. For you to forget about all these and then side with one candidate who would then, in times of need, call on you to come and mediate.
Okay.
That's why I say that he lost the opportunity of being the father of this, particularly where the kind of problems that Mr. Alan Kyerematen is facing in the political landscape is as a result of the fact that people associate you with Mr. Alan Kyerematen as though you are his son. Every deed of yours has been attached to Mr. Alan Kyerematen, whether good or bad.
Okay, so after Sunday's engagement, which you said Kufuor lost his rights to be the father of the nation, has Alan engaged Kufuor?
To do what? Alan is continuously campaigning. He's in Ashanti region, he's in Kumasi.
But they are not enemies, are they?
No, they are not enemies.
But he hasn't engaged Kufuor.
No, but he's busily working in Ashanti region.
But did he engage Kufuor prior to his decision to want to be a flag bearer for a movement for change?
President Kufuor has always known that Alan was going to be an independent candidate, and he knows it. Unless today he wants to play the ostrich and say that he never had any understanding of it. And you see, the angle that Alan was coming from must be made clear to all and sundry.
Okay, but I don't mean to cut you. I just want to understand, did Alan in any way seek help from Kufuor when he made his intentions known?
Which help like that? I mean, I have served you true and true. Alan has served Mr. Kufuor true and true. And so what else? He wants to be the president. Mind you, in 1996, it was the same President Kufuor that begged Mr. Alan Kyerematen not to contest him.
Right.
Alan Kyerematen would have won. Alan listened to his plea. And you can read this from Apia Minka's book. He took Apia Minka and Don Kufuor to go and beg Alan Kyerematen not to contest him because of his stature then. He listened to you. He supported you to become president and served in your administration to make sure that you indeed excelled. About 70% of Kufuor's initiatives all came from Alan Kyerematen.
Has Kufuor betrayed Alan?
Absolutely. And that is why now people are saying that when you do a good deed to someone, you must take receipt. What former President Kufuor has done is to let young ones to learn that when you are serving someone in truth and humility, you must be careful. You must dig deep into the person that you're serving so that tomorrow you will not be taken aback when the betrayal comes.
Okay.
We have taken it in our strides, but my candidate only sought to expose the inaccuracies in what he sought to do.
Okay.
That it is never true that when it comes to competence, Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia is better than he, Alan. Absolutely. That's what he sought to put across.
No problem. But let's talk about your party now. Is Alan in the Ashanti region?
Alan is in Kumasi at the moment. And mind you, it is not a political. Ours is not a political party.
It's a movement.
It's a movement,
right.
And Alan is contesting as an independent candidate with a view to bringing every Ghanaian on board in our governance system.
Okay.
You see, the country is so much polarized. We are so much divided. And the only savior in this election is Alan Kyerematen, who is contesting as an independent candidate, so that his victory will be able to bring all sides on board so that we develop this country together.
And how has the reception been in the Ashanti region?
Well, I've told you that the question to answer in this election is about who can create jobs. And when it comes to job creation, no one compares to Alan in this country.
What is that ultimate plan for job creation in the Ashanti region?
Now, we want to diversify the base of the economy. One, Ashanti region is predominantly an agrarian and then a business a nerve of our country. If you want to protect the people of Ashanti region, you must stabilize the macroeconomic environment by reducing interest rate and taxes, which has been amply captured in our great transformational plan. That when we come, we are going to remove nuisance taxes. COVID-19 tax is going to go. The 2% special import levy is going to go. As import duties on spare parts within the first 2 years will be scrapped, and so on and so forth. Policy rate, we are proposing that we are going to do a single digit, not like what we are doing. When you do this, then you are promoting the people of Ashanti region. And again, we are going to focus on agriculture. Mind you, we are proposing new agricultural revolution. That Tutu Adam sitting here, Alan is saying that you are not only going to be here, but under his regime, you are going to own a commercial farm to make money out of it. Wouldn't it be beautiful?
Please include my
Joshua Kojo Mensah would be owning a big farm, commercial farm. And you know what? Africa is about 1.4 billion human beings. You know why Alan fought for the Africa Continental Free Trade? So that your goods from your produce from your farms will have a market. This is a candidate who is so methodological and who is so detailed, and that has given you a plan. Let us refrain from these manifestos that are full of promises that do not solve any problem, which has landed where we are, and to embrace plan. And that is what Alan is offering. And the youth are so much happy. And that is why, before he even ascended to the throne of presidency, he has put forward a digital platform, www.3mjgh.com, where he's calling on all the youth unemployed to go and upload your CVs, because he intends to, as it will, create 3 million jobs within the first 1.5 years for the youth to be engaged. And we don't want to do whom you know principle in our government. So just go and upload your CV. But when you are looking for a marketing person, we just go on the platform, siphon those that have marketing backgrounds, interview you. If you qualify, then you work for Mr. Alan Kyerematen.
It looks like this works for people in the formal sector. What about people in the rural areas?
Absolutely, you are perfectly right. So I'll talk about the new agricultural revolution. If you look at our rural population, majority of them are engaged in agriculture. What he's saying is that he's going to help them, bring them together to form, engage in large-scale farming, where you will be aiding them with modern equipment as well as agronomists, so that they can engage in commercial farming. Now, having engaged in commercial farming, if those engaged in cocoa do not bring their cocoa products to Makola to sell, but rather cocoa goes there to go and buy from them, Alan is saying that we would establish market buyers. I mean, we are talking about buyers across the length and breadth of this country who will be going to the farm gates to be buying their products. Beyond that, he's also proposing Traders Bank. That's one of the problems that are faced by the traders in this country.
So NDC is providing Women's Bank.
Yes.
And Movements for Change is proposing what?
Traders Bank. We brought the trader. Mind you, we launched our plan before the two political parties.
So did they copy from you?
You can say that they copied from
us.
us.
No, I cannot say that.
No, we brought the Traders Bank, and they brought the Women's Bank, and the MPP, I think they are talking about, there is something bank, but we know they copied from us. And so,
who?
All the two parties copied from us. But that is fine. You cannot copy and be an original of that idea. We hold the original patent right. And so Alan is saying Traders Bank, because you see, the traders in this country are faced with the issue of access to credit. And not just access to credit, cheap credit. That is why I started by saying that we intend to work towards a single-digit policy rate. When you have access to cheap credit, you can expand your business. And the teaming you that are not working will have a place to work. So this is what Alan is saying. Beyond that, you know, we have an issue with our environment. Galamsey is just killing us.
So you have a plan for that as well?
Comprehensive. None of the political parties comes close.
Oh, you don't think that the NPP saying they're going to empower Geological Survey Authority is the game changer?
But they themselves are engaging with Galamsey. You remember the parliamentary aspirant for Amenfi East, Ernest Frimpong, calling on Galamseyers to continue to engage in Galamsey. You remember Mrekuduka, what he said. You remember what Nabo said about Galamsey. They have no clue. And indeed, they are the government of the day. If they have any plan, why are they not implementing it today? Alan is saying under his presidency, if you engage yourself in Galamsey and you are caught, it's lifetime imprisonment. But the youth that are engaging themselves in these activities, what it's going to do is that Given the opportunity to be the president, he's going to enhance their skill, taking them to Takwa School of Mine for them to get modern skill that can engage in mining. Now, beyond that, he's going to aid them to get licenses and also give them concession and establish a company for them and give them top-notch management so that the country can regulate their activities. They will be paying their taxes. Their gold will be passing through the usual channel. And at the end of the day, it will be beneficial to the state, and they will also be engaging in responsible mining. This is a beautiful plan that no political party nor candidate compares. And it's so clear.
I see. Let me find out from you briefly. So the NPP is targeting between 80 and 85% in the Ashanti region. The NDC is also targeting between 30 and 35% in the Ashanti region. What is the Movement for Change targeting in the Ashanti region?
Let me assure you and let me state emphatically that Alan Kyerematen will win Ashanti region.
By what percentage?
He is getting between 52 to 62%. This will be the range. And it is so
Have you seen the polls?
Criminally minded polls you're talking about?
Which one is the criminally minded?
Global Info Analytics.
Is a criminally minded poll?
Criminally minded. Look, let me expose them to you.
Expose them.
Before Mr. Alan Kyerematen announced his what's the name? Movement for Change. In fact, the day that he announced the Movement for Change, that's on the 25th of September 2023, 2 weeks after that, Info Analytics, they did a survey or conducted their polls and said Mr. Alan Kyerematen was having between 7 to 9%. At that time, Mr. Alan Kyerematen had not even gone on the grounds to be campaigning. Mr. Alan Kyerematen launches his great transformation plan, follows it up with market tours, follows it up with meet and greet, follows it up with caravan tours, and is now doing community engagement. Now that he's on the grounds, these same people are saying he has 2%. Does it make sense to you? What is the staff strength of Info Analytics to be carrying out this? It is just procured.
But despite what you're saying, Global Info Analytics says that Alan is doing pretty well.
No, he's not conducting any. Don't take his.
So what is he doing?
He's just writing something to appease his paymasters.
Who are his paymasters?
How does he finance his activities? Who finances him? And I just exposed him to that Alan hadn't gone on the grounds, he had given him 9%. Alan goes to the grounds and is giving him 2%. Does it make sense to you? Look, we are very serious, man. In any case, recent elections in the United States of America has proven that you don't have to bang your hopes on these polls. In the days leading to the election, what didn't we hear? That it was tightening between Trump and Kamala Harris. When in fact, on the D-Day, it became evident that it was not even close. It was a landslide victory for Trump. So why would I put my hopes on these? It does not work. It's just for their fun and also to appease. The only thing that happens to a poll is that when a political investor comes to a country and wants to help a candidate, it may work against you because all that they can do is go and follow such polls to do their investments. And that is the only effect of it. Apart from that, it is not scientific. They don't do anything. They sit in their offices and then just with a stroke of their own hands type anything and give it to be reading to us.
So it's not credible.
I have challenged them that they should give me their raw data with the contact numbers. I'll be sitting by them. The same questions that they have been asking, I will call the people and ask them in their presence, and we will see whether we get the same results. It's not true.
Okay, so unfortunately, we are wrapping up, but tell Ghanaians your final words, why they should vote for the Movement for Change.
To the youth of this country and everyone listening to me this evening, the only mandate of any government is enshrined in our Constitution and Article 36, and I read to you. The state shall take all necessary action to ensure that the national economy is managed in such a manner as to maximize the rate of economic development and to secure the maximum freedom and happiness of every person in Ghana and to provide adequate means of livelihood and suitable employment and public assistance to the needy. So the work of every president is to make sure that you too you are happy, Joshua is happy, and every Ghanaian is happy. The question I ask you is, are you happy? And mind you can only be happy when you have a decent job to do. You have a decent accommodation. All these are the reasons why Alan is coming. Alan says he's going to give you jobs to do and give you decent accommodation, bring in the much needed infrastructure so that the youth of this country will not be destitute. Now you finish secondary school, Alan is saying that there will be mandatory apprenticeship. Those that cannot go into any apprenticeship, there is the military or the security service for you. Those that cannot do that, he has a fund for the youth that will be engaging themselves in business. This is what we need. Do not listen to anybody. You were not born with NDC blood or NPP blood. You were born to survive, and to survive means choose Alan. Vote for item 13 which is Obia Bididi.
Peche.
Peche, I love it. You can be a better campaign manager for us. And
Thank you very much.
Thank
Solomon
you.
Owusu is aide to Alan Kojo Chairman, saying he's the presidential candidate of the Movement for Change. And that wraps up Started here on Star FM. For more news updates, please log on to starfm.com.gh. I am Tutu Adan. So I was here with Joshua Kojo Mensah, and this bulletin was produced by Eko Anan and Benjamin Saki and Prince Asian as well. Thank you very much. We are back tomorrow with more news content. Have a good evening.